We got a chance to talk to Shane Delia earlier, who's done some terrific work over the years. He's travelled the world. He gave us a chance to see what cuisine was like, his favourite cuisine, and he took us from one part of Asia straight into Europe. He's done it for SBS, he's done it for Channel 9, he's part of the postcards team, but he's also got some other challenges. And of course, being the sort of guy he is, he's a fighter, he's a Western Bulldogs man, and he doesn't know what quit means. He's got a new show coming up. And again, he's gone back to the source, SBS. Tell me about this, mate. What's going on?
I mean, this is the first time we've spoken about it. So, I mean, it's to be honest, I don't even know if we've secured...
But you're not travelling?
No, it's all based here in Melbourne. It's a cooking show.
Right.
So it's a Middle Eastern cooking show, loosely Middle Eastern, like everything I do. But it's actually working with real people. So every episode's with a different person, not necessarily a chef.
Okay.
You know,
so would you take me on board to cook or no?
Maybe to
show
eat.
me how to cook. I'll just sample.
Yeah. So we've broken it down into 10 episodes, and there's probably about 8 talent that we're working with. So I've got a really nice Turkish boy that's got a kebab shop down the road from my house, whose father who's a legend of making Adana kebab.
Well, we should add. The reason why this man is so comfortable around this language is because Biggie Smalls is another part of the Delia group. So that's that sort of fast food as they do it in Europe, and it's so special. So take me on board, finish the story.
Yeah, so I mean, each episode's with a different cuisine. So we've got some really beautiful people from all over the sort of Middle Eastern Arabic world, sort of even venturing into Turkey, and breaking it down into like Middle Eastern breakfast. And I've got a friend of mine, Joe Abud, who's got renowned in Melbourne. He's got Rumi and Bar Saracen, and we're going to do sort of like Lenten vegan food. And then
breakfast Asian, breakfast Turkey, menemen, manti. You're making me salivate at the moment.
There's some beautiful food. And what's good about this show is that we're not trying to do chefy food. We're working with people who are real people, some housewives, some just great cooks, learning what they do in a kitchen environment, talking about why food is important, and just cooking up a couple of dishes that people can replicate.
Listening to you talk about how this show is going to come together and what it's going to look like, it almost harks back to the show that you first did for SBS a number of years ago, which was this journey, this odyssey from Iran, Iraq, took us through Turkey, and then into Malta, and eventually into Spain, the home of the Moor. And it was quite wonderful watching the different ingredients and you learning from so many different masters and women who were just I can still remember we were in Spain and you were showing us, I think it was in Spain, and you're watching one of the mothers there who'd been doing it for a lifetime, encouraging the children how to learn to make this very fine pasta. I'm just trying to remember.
I think it was in Turkey.
Was it in Turkey?
Yeah, we're making that manti.
And the little kids are showing that they'd learnt the copa and their fingers were turning over a tree.
I mean, that show was such a blessing for me because I learned.
But it's a bit of that, isn't it?
It is a bit of that, but it's almost that was more from a chef's angle, learning and absorbing. What this show is about connecting with somebody, a normal everyday person, about food and showing the audience that this is some beautiful food that you can cook. As opposed, that was more about my discovery, how I was inspired by seeing this beautiful produce and how I could then reinterpret that into a restaurant. This is just about, these are beautiful flavors that may not be within, I suppose, Australiana, cooking.
Yet.
How do you make this a part of your everyday cuisine where it's sort of, pulls down all the barriers and restrictions?
And do we have a working title for this new show? Or we shouldn't say anything?
No, I think it's like Shane's Middle Eastern Kitchen or something like that. To be honest, I can't even remember. But I know we start filming like, mid-August. So I've only got like 4 weeks to put it together. I just received last night from the producer the series breakdown, and now I have to start getting busy putting all the recipes in. But it's exciting too because I haven't been in front of the camera doing a cooking show for a while. Spice Journey was the last one, and that was about 3 years ago. So
you produce some wonderful books along with that Spice Journey. Is that still selling? Are people still reaching out when they come to the restaurant?
Yeah.
When they're getting a chance to?
No, the Spice Journey book still sells really well. It's in the UK, I think it's in some parts of Asia. It sells pretty well. I mean, we sell more through the restaurant than at any bookshop. But cookbooks are a funny one because they take so much time to produce.
Oh, yeah. And you're meticulous. You want the product to look great.
And they're not going to make you rich.
No,
but they're not about that. It's about a legacy almost, leaving something, But it's I'd like to do another book, but it's just everything that I'm doing now takes so much of my time. I don't know when I'll find the window to do it again.
And last, before we leave you, the Bulldogs are playing this weekend.
Yeah, with the North.
Are they going to win?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
There you go. I don't know why we do an AFL segment when Shane Delia can come and tell me the result before we go.
No doubt.
Shane Delia, you've been a marvel. He's been doing this for the better part of the last 15, 20 years. He keeps getting better, he keeps getting sharper, and more importantly, not only is he razor sharp when he cleans that head of his, but in everything that he brings to the table, he does it to the best of his ability. We're thrilled to have him in the studio, and a reminder that there's a brand new show coming up on SBS. We don't mind supporting SBS. In fact, I got a chance to do something with my journey through Armenia, where I did a bit of cooking, and if you go on SBS On Demand, you may see your name mentioned in that show, in that kitchen. I was channeling Shane Delia. Thank you, mate.
Thanks, George.